This is UTEL Concerts. This is UTEL Concerts. This is UTELConcerts.com.
Hey, it's Crystal with UTELConcerts.com. I'm on the phone with DJ Skeet Skeet, currently on tour with the beautiful Katy Perry and coming to Nashville's Bridgestone Arena on August 19th. How are you, Skeet?
I'm doing really well. Just actually a couple days off in Los Angeles, so I'm making the rounds. Just had lunch with a couple friends, and I'm doing excellent.
You actually moved to L.A. from Iowa, correct?
Yeah, I was born in L.A., and my mom was from Iowa, Davenport, Iowa, and wanted to take me back there to raise me up right. And then when I was 16, I moved back here, and I've been out here almost 10 years.
How did you get interested in DJing, and how did you start?
You know what, I grew up, basically 2 hours west of Chicago, so there was always kind of like a Chicago house influence. You know, you go to the North Park Mall kiosk, and there'd be anything from Bad Boy Bill mixtapes to local soulful things that kind of resembled house music. But for me personally growing up, that wasn't where my head was at. It was kind of just something that was in the background. I was definitely more into punk and hardcore. And then when I moved to Los Angeles, I had to quit my bands, obviously, and I didn't really have any friends that were kind of into the kind of music I was into out here in LA. Everyone wanted to be in indie rock bands. And basically I had to start making music by myself. So I downloaded Reason and started making beats and was trying to make and program stuff that sounded like hardcore and punk. And basically, when trying to find stuff that sounded similar to what I was making, I found drum and bass and stuff like that. And that wasn't really for me. But then, from some record store suggestions and other things like that, I found Filter House and UK Garage and Two Step, and that definitely struck a chord in me. And I don't know, basically long story short, I discovered dance music and decided that I was making stuff that was kind of like this, and how could I play it? And DJing is kind of how you perform that stuff live. So that was the next logical step in between Google searches and asking friends or whatever else.
Yeah, so how long have you been at it?
Really not all that long. I probably started when I was about 20 years old, and I'm 25 now, so between 4 and 5 years.
I mean, you've been at it the same time as some of these big heavy hitters that are moving up the charts. I mean, do you want to be the next LMFAO or the next Kesha?
I mean, that was never really what I wanted to do. I mean, it's still kind of crazy to me that I can make a living DJing. I mean, I still don't consider myself a DJ, producer. I mean, I'm an A&R at Atlantic Records. I, direct music videos. I'm shooting a Nervo video in a couple weeks here. I'm, producing bands. I'm a total geeky food tech nerd. I have my website, dishliquor.com, which is a social network designed for foodies. And DJing is definitely one little piece of the puzzle. It just seems to be kind of dominating right now. And I think, those guys, they definitely wanted to make music their passion. It's what they hang their hat on. But for me, it's just kind of something I really enjoy doing. And if people want to pay me to do it, then awesome.
So how did you meet Katy Perry and get involved with her?
I met Katy probably 2005, 2000. I was just basically hanging out. I was doing a lot of graphic design at the time. And I designed some shirts that she was wearing, kind of modeling to make money on the side. I mean, she was just trying to get by being a musician. And we started talking about music, and that's how we met there. But the tour itself has been a total blessing. Big production. There's I think 13 semis and 7 tour buses, and just to be a part of such a huge machine and see how people do it on a very, very high level has been very cool. I mean, everybody involved with their show is at the best of their game. There's Paul McCartney stage managers and Rammstein's pyro guys, and just to say that I get to be a part of something so special has been super, super cool.
Let's talk a little bit about Nashville. What attracts you to Nashville?
You know what? I think at the end of the day, it's got a sweet spot in my heart because A, I have a ton of good friends there, but B, it kind of reminds me of a hybrid of the places I love the most, which is where I grew up, Iowa and Los Angeles. It's got this small town country feel, but at the same time, it's got enough things going on and enough really great music stuff going on. There's this kind of Hollywood, LA movers and shakers element. And, I guess at the end of the day, I want to be places where my good friends are and good people are. And from Maddie Diaz to Topher and, Mindy White and all kinds of friends that I have down there. It's I love being down there because of the good people.
Are there any after parties planned for the Katy Perry show? Or?
Yeah, I think I'm going to head down to and
Cool.
play with my friend Coach over there. The guys at My have always been cool with me, and I love playing in Nashville. It's a music city, so you can get away with, playing a lot of cool stuff. I can play Hank Williams at 145, and people are stoked. And I can play Moody Man, and people are stoked, and it's cool.
How would you describe your DJ style?
I think because I don't really consider myself like DJ artist first,
Mm-hmm.
kind of get to be, I don't know, I mean, you get me. Like, I think if you go see Deadmau5, you know what you're going to get there. You're going to get, 2 hours of electro house and progressive house. Like, you go see me, and I'm going to play 30 minutes of cumbia and an hour of rap and 45 minutes of two-step and 15 minutes of house. And people get confused, and they don't necessarily always appreciate it. But I think people that like music and like all kinds of music and aren't kind of bound by genres are excited about it. And I think that's probably why I like playing in Nashville, is because people know that music there, and they appreciate somebody who also is a fan of music.
And as you were saying before, you're very web savvy. So what are some of your favorite websites right now?
Oh, it's tough to say. I spend a lot of time on different music websites, but I guess when I'm just chilling and lurking, I'm always poking my head on like Hacker News, Technini. I'm on my site, dishlicker.com, quite a bit. I do spend a bit of time on Tumblr, Twitter. I do some Quora stuff.
And you use Spotify, I noticed.
I love Spotify. I've actually been, involved a bit with kind of getting that out. My good friend DA from a group called Chester French is they're kind of artist in resident. DA and I are both just geeks, so when he got involved with that, he hit me up, and I reached out, and I got like accounts to my friends, like Katy, Kesha, or whoever, just setting people heads up about what's going on and how I think it's gonna really revolutionize the way people do digital music and the way people, look at music.
Have you tried Turntable FM?
I have, yeah. The Mad Decent guys, we all a big one, like Diplo and Dylan Francis, a couple guys from Mad Decent all started one day, and I got on there and played some unreleased stuff. It's very cool.
Tell me about that blog again. You have like a foodie blog, you said?
Yeah, it's more like a food blog / like social network. Really kind of stemmed from the idea that myself and my good friend Chris, and there's a group called Bag Raiders from Australia, the more we travel, the more we talk to them on BBM or Facebook, whatever, and be like, hey, man, I'm going to this, where should I eat? And like, oh, man, I ate this place, and he'd like send me over a picture of this thing that he ate. And we're both kind of obsessed with photographing the meals that we eat and eating at cool places that we travel. So we partnered and started this site called Slicker, and the best way to describe it is you have to just go check it out. It's like an invite-only, contributor-driven food log where all of my friends, some of them are, like Steph Bambi Northwood, who's like the cover of B magazine this month, and a supermodel who, like, believe it or not, loves to eat, and my friend Kara, who's like a folk photographer. You have DJs, you have editors, people that just travel like to eat stuff are all kind of invited in to share where they want to eat. And you can go on there, you can type in wherever you are and kind of see where people who lead interesting lives are eating in that respective city.
Tell me about I Like It Loud. You released this a few weeks ago, and it's your first original?
Yeah, I think, people have been asking me to do an original record for a long time, and different labels have approached me and stuff like that. But, like, my general response was, what am I going to do? Like, if I had it my way, I'd make an album with, Leaf and Trash Talk and, like, a guy from Barry Be Careful doing mariachi stuff. So, like, it wouldn't make any sense. What would make an album about it? And then finally I realized that's kind of the cool part, is that as a DJ I get to make an album that can be lots of different things. And so I called up a bunch of friends, got in the studio, and we kind of just made songs. And like Maddie Diaz, who's a Nashville local, Maddie lives in LA working on stuff. We went in the studio, and the song that we did is like very organic, acoustic guitar, but still has like, programmed drums, and it's a hybrid of whatever me and my friends wanted to do in the studio. And I Like It Loud was kind of the first thing I wanted to put out, because here I am, a guy that's kind of known for making like electro house and dance music, and at the same time I spent most of this year listening to like only rap music. So it's like a rap song made by a guy who makes house music, and I thought it was kind of a good representation of what the album is. It's like me just going on a limb and making whatever I want to make, and there's no real boundaries.
Who's an artist that you would tell people that they have to listen to right now?
There's a band from Minneapolis called Elite Gymnastics. They're like one of my favorite bands. There's a band called Kraftspells from Stockton, and Kraftspells to me sounds like this hybrid New Order, Division, Smith, combo of awesomeness, and they're really great. Oh, and the band I'm producing called Downtown. It's a DWN, and we put out one song on the internet, and I put out a remix of the song with a little B guest verse. But if you want to check it out, it's just facebook.com/DWN music.
Very cool. And a question I always ask is, what's the best concert that you've ever been to as an audience member?
That's a good question. It's probably, people make fun of me, but I went to a tour. I went to Blink-182, Newfound Glory, Alkaline Trio. It was probably like 13. And, dude, first time feeling a boob when a girl stage dive, contact high, like Newfound Glory, Blink-182, Alkaline Trio at 13. It doesn't get better than that. Like, it was top to bottom best night of, like, you know, it's probably of my life. It was amazing.
Blink is a really, really fun show. I'm not afraid to admit it.
And they're like one of my favorite bands ever. And you know, Tom and Mark have reached out to me to do a signature shoe on their shoe line, Macbeth.
When did that come out? That's recent, right?
Yeah, it just came out. Actually, it comes out for like kind of back to school fall, so it's just now kind of coming in.
Very cool. Thank you so much for spending so much time with me. I'm DJ Skeet Skeet. You can check him out in Nashville at the Bridgestone Arena on August 19th with Katy Perry and Janelle Monáe, who's awesome. And you can listen to I Like It Loud and find out more about Skeet Skeet at eatskeet.com. And yeah, thank you so much.
Pleasure. Thank you.